Sorry, y'all. Let me tell you something. For the past, let's say, probably 2 months, Facebook has been reducing my reach, which is why I'd be begging y'all to share, but you won't. Only about 20 people per 1,000 views share the video. And they have also been interrupting my videos, meaning that no matter where I am, they say that I'm having an internet problem, whether I am at home or on the road or traveling, no matter where I'm at. All of a sudden, my internet don't work. Been using the same phone and same service, actually upgraded my service, and it's still not working. So I don't even remember where I was with my train of thought or conversation, but I want to start, kind of from the beginning, okay? Again, Kevin Samuels is doing black women a favor. That was my point earlier, okay? I'm not going to bash Kevin Samuels, but I do find it rather odd that a relationship expert has no relationship. I do find it very odd that a man whose credentials consist of being the captain of a cheerleading team and a baby daddy is out here giving women advisement on how to find and keep a man. And I really think that he speaks from the perspective of a man who has been broken. I think that he speaks from the perspective of a man who was hurt and is very bitter. But to his credit, he also speaks to men. But for whatever reason, again, there's internet reality and then there's reality, right? So men on the internet, they follow Kevin Samuels and they cheer and they say, yeah, remember I talked about, a boss chick versus a basic chick, right? So there's what I would call the how you like me now syndrome, right? So the how you like me now syndrome is what I was saying that a basic chick have. Like every time she get a dime over a nickel, she start wilding out and acting crazy all over the internet because she's not used to having anything. Well, that's the same thing that's happening with men, right? And what Ken Brisbane said to me is that he was like, Nico, I always been the dude that got women. So I never knew that there was a whole segment of men who didn't get women. And so those are the men who come on the internet and say, black women only want thugs. He was like, he wasn't never no thug, right? So he says that those men who are now the Kevin Samuels cheerleaders and prospects and the men who he catered to, they're really just men, right? They're really just men who are hurt. You know what I mean? Like most of the men that come to my page, and no slight to none of y'all, but it's the truth. And I only speak things that I really feel. I'm not trying to bash or anything, but most of you men who come on my page and quote Kevin Samuels, one thing that I never hear you quote is the black man's responsibility to his family, his children, nor society, right? It's the Samuelites. That's hilarious. And this is also the truth. Most of you men who quote Kevin, 99% of the men who were rejected, which is why you can relate to they only wanted thugs, right? So if you think that black women only wanted thugs, how the fuck are you a baby daddy? How did you even find it within yourself to have a relationship with a black woman if black women only date thugs? So what that tells me is either you lack the understanding about who you are as a man, and you also lack the confidence, right? Because clearly you have had a relationship with the black woman in order for you to even have a perspective. But after all is said and done, the only perspective that you have is that black women only date thugs, as if a Barack Obama don't exist, as if all the athletes in the world are thugs. All the athletes, they have black women. LeBron James has a beautiful black wife, black children. You act like these things don't exist, like you completely remove these facts from the conversation, and you include your emotional instabilities about how black women feel about you. What you're basically saying is black women didn't like you. Therefore, if black women didn't like you, then they must have liked thugs because you were nowhere near a thug. But that's not the actual reality. What black women like is confidence. And the fact that you say that black women only like thugs tells me that you lack a tremendous amount of confidence. And the reason why you lack a tremendous amount of confidence, again, is because you're not the cream of the crop. You weren't the pick. You were probably overweight. I mean, some of you you're just not attractive. Black women like good looking men. Black women like men who have nice bodies. Like, the most charismatic men have always gotten women. The most charismatic men, the men with money. You trying to tell me only thugs have money? I thought you said black women love money. So if black women love money, then what are we talking about only thugs? Like, make up your mind. Black women like bum dudes. So are you telling me so all the men, let me get this straight. So all the thugs have all the money, all the thugs have all the good looks, all the thugs have all the women, all the thugs are the only ones making babies. So none of you got babies. None of you have ever dated black women. None of you have any money. Is that what you're telling me? Because you got to really put all of this into perspective. And you have to start being honest. And the honest truth is this. You were hurt. You were maybe lied to. You maybe felt used. Right? Because I'm going to tell you like this. Right? Nico ain't never had a preference for thugs. But I have always had a preference for men with an extreme amount of confidence. Right? So what would happen is that a geeky dude or a nerdy dude, or most of the dudes that follow Kevin Samuels, or, even when a man grows into his looks and he, his whole beard grows in finally, and even if he works out and changes his body, I'll tell you what never changes about that man. What never changes about that man is his internal insecurities. That's what never changes about that man, which is why he was a young boy still carrying young boy ideologies into manhood. You will never hear me talk about my relationships and take on the ideologies of me at 19 years old into me going into being 49 years old. And the reason why is because I understand as an adult and as a woman, there's a such thing as evolution, which is why you guys sit around and talk about who women are selecting as baby daddies as if you're not on OnlyFans, as if you're not on Pornhub, as if you're not on Instagram following models around and wishing and hoping and dreaming that one day they acknowledge you. So the fact of the matter is that you're still caught up in being that little boy. You're still caught up in being rejected at 19 years old, where you had no money, no confidence, and no type of influence or personality. But what you have to do is you have to understand that everything and everyone has evolved. I wasn't the same girl either, but I don't take the ideologies of me as a 19-year-old girl into me as a 49-year-old woman. I don't even take who I was at 39 into being 49. And a lot of you, the things that you say are not related to women in your age bracket. You're really attesting to the things that happened to you when you were younger, right? The things that happened to you when you were younger. So you haven't found your way to make money. You haven't found your way to money because that's what women are attracted to. You haven't found your way to any type of confidence because that's what women are attracted to. You haven't found your ass in the gym yet because that's what women are attracted to. So what Kevin Samuels has done is he has opened a door for your insecurities to feel validated. So because he has opened a door for your insecurities to feel validated, you sit on the internet and you pout and you complain, and it's basically therapy for you. But here's the catch. That's not reality. That's not let's see, most of the men that follow Kevin Samuels, that's not the actual reality. Again, if I take my cell phone into the gym with me right now with my long weave, I don't have my fake lashes on this morning, but if I did have my lashes on, they're going to be following me around the gym. They're going to be all up in my face, young and old. It doesn't matter what age bracket they fall in. They're going to be following me around. I choose not to deal with younger ones because I have done the cougar thing, and all I ended up with was blunt smoke in my goddamn hair, carpet burns on my knees, okay, and fucking blunt burns in my furniture, okay? So I am personally not interested in young guys, right? I am personally not interested in young guys. I'm also not interested in thugs. I have never been interested in thugs per se. And here's a funny thing about it. You know what's really funny about it is who y'all think is thugs. So who you think is thugs? These men that sell dope or do the things that you were afraid to do because of your lack of confidence or just fear in general, or timidness or whatever you have going on inside that you haven't been able to figure out. Most of these dudes are not thugs. They're actually not thugs, right? Darnell, okay, Darnell, every day you come on my page. Every day you complain about women. Every day you literally are the epitome of what I'm speaking on right now. From what I can see, you're not the most attractive guy. You are for sure a baby daddy, meaning that you have had a relationship with a black woman at some point in time. You don't have your weight together, right? I'm guessing that you may have a little bit of money, but not enough to attract the type of woman that you follow on the internet. So I get your frustration because, again, you are the epitome of the geeky dude turned adult male, but still carries along those little boy insecurities. I don't carry along my little girl insecurities, right? So I don't walk around talking about, yeah, look at my body. Remember when I was skinny? Like, I don't care about that, right? There's a thing called, oh God, Peter Pan syndrome, y'all. What is it? Arrested Development. So the fact that you're still stuck in the mindset of black women like thugs, when you should be dealing with women that are in their 30s and 40s and 50s in your age bracket, you're actually still focused on what women in their 20s and teen years did to you. So the fact that you guys are still stuck in that era, because women who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, thugs, what kind of grown-ass men are still thugs? And if grown-ass men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are still thugs, is that a woman's problem or is that a male agenda problem? That's a male agenda problem. That means you motherfuckers ain't growing up if you're still thugs. Because you should have outgrown that stage. If you were in that stage at any point in time in your life, you should have outgrown it. So if you're still talking about women dating thugs, again, you are still dealing with your 19-year-old self. You haven't even evolved into the man you want to be, which is why you're still mad and bitter on the internet every day. So if you have not taken the opportunity, I think that your lack of, sorry, that's my son. I think that your lack of focus on yourself is why you feel as bitter as you do. I think that's why you come to my page every day stomping mad like the devil, because you haven't evolved. As you get older as a man, your ideologies about women should evolve. You know why? Because you should be around a better batch of fucking women. And if you're still around women who like thugs, and you're still around women who are doing the things that you complain about on Al Gore's internet every day, then it's an issue. The things that I discuss on Al Gore's internet every day are not men in my life. I tell you guys about the men in my life, but you don't want to hear it. I tell you about the men in my life who are bosses. We don't even talk about Kevin Samuels. They don't even follow. They don't even have time to be on motherfucking YouTube like that all day. The men that are on YouTube like that all day are the same men who have no type of infrastructure in their lives. The women who are following Kevin Samuels are primarily women who have found an insecurity in themselves that they haven't been able to push through. They're the women who have 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 baby daddies. They're the women who desperately want to be married because they need a man's validation, which is why they follow a man like Kevin Samuels, who is constantly insulting them for being obese. Right? And again, not that he's wrong or right. I don't follow the dude. I have heard him say some things that I agree with, and I have also heard him say some things that I don't agree with. But the bottom line is that Kevin Samuels is not the epitome of the man that he describes that women should be with. He is actually the epitome of the man that he's trying to get women to accept, because what he's really doing is he's trying to get you to accept him. That's what he's really actually doing. He's trying to get your acceptance. Where has Kevin Samuels competed in the marketplace for finances other than him growing his YouTube channel through the dissection of black women? Where has Kevin Samuels where has he competed with other men in society and won? Where is Kevin Samuels when he has the only competition that I am familiar with is him being on a cheerleading squad? And what was he competing with on a cheerleading squad? Again, I'm not knocking this dude. I'm just putting it into perspective. When men talk about men and how Kevin Samuels has positioned himself, do you realize that he has not competed with other men in society? That when he was a cheerleader, and not that he wasn't talented, I don't know, but he was competing with other women. You can't see that. You can't see that the role that he chose in his career and in his life was competing with women. As a cheerleader, come on now, fellas. You're literally following an ex-cheerleader. Advice. No, let me reverse that. A single ex-cheerleader, right? So that was his competitive nature in high school, which is indicative of who he has become. And then his next stage of life, he got into appearances. In fashion, who do you compete with in fashion? Gay men and women. Primarily, unless you're going into sporting attire. I'm not downing Kevin Samuels. I'm just putting it into perspective. Kevin Samuels has not competed with men in society. He has only competed with women in society as an ex-cheerleader and then as a fashion consultant. Now, he can do what he wants to do, but I'm trying to figure out why men and men who claim to have an extreme amount of confidence are following and listening to a man who has not displayed the things that they claim are important to manhood. He has not displayed himself as a husband. He has not displayed himself as a father of the fucking year. He has not displayed himself in winning in boardrooms. He has not displayed himself in competing on the field with other men. He has not displayed himself in any kind of masculine role. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Where are you getting the perspective from that he is the ultimate ideology of what a man is? He hasn't displayed these things in society in one fucking way. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Like, I'm not disrespecting that man. I'm just trying to understand where other men are, how other men are following a man who has not proven himself in society. From a masculine perspective. He talks about black women, because you could say he speaks the truth, but I'm speaking the truth right now. I'm speaking the actual fucking truth right now. He hasn't competed in society. He hasn't won the woman who he says exists. He's telling 45-year-old men with gout and motherfucking diabetes to go get them a 25-year-old who's going to have to shoot them in their ass with insulin. He's telling men to go get 25-year-old women who don't, those same 25-year-old women who you complain about don't know how to select their baby daddies and like thugs. Think about what you're, the fact that I have to explain these things is really concerning to me. You're telling black women that they have no clear understanding of how to choose a mate. Yet you turn around and tell those same women in their early stages of making poor decisions to date men in their 40s and 50s. Right? So you're just either going to ignore what I'm saying and pretend like I'm not right about what I'm saying. Again, I want you to tell me where Kevin Samuels is getting his information from. He's telling you to date women in their 20s, but he has no girlfriend. He has no wife. He has nothing that he told you to go and get as a man in order for you to be established. I also don't see the men on my page coming to my page. I don't see you telling me the things that he tells men. I only see you telling me things that he tells women. And again, when you are operating on a level of talking to women about women's shit, hair, nails, and things like that, right? I need you to understand that that's the boy in you. That's the boy in you, because the men in my circle don't have these conversations. When a man calls my phone, trust and believe he's calling my phone about some motherfucking money. He's calling my phone about the business he's handling. He's calling my phone because he's getting ready to close on another deal. He's calling my phone because he has actually substantiated himself in some way, shape, or form in society. He's calling my phone because he is a competitor. He's calling my phone because he is a man's man. He's calling my phone because he was never no motherfucking cheerleader. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And ladies, listen. You are the ones who are helping these men perpetuate this bullshit, because you are allowing them to have their way with you. You are the primary followers of Kevin Samuels, not men. The men, they come on my page and they talk that shit again. And unless I see a man who gives me both perspectives, I don't want to hear what the fuck they got to say. Because if you're listening to him and you're only bringing me the perspective about women, that tells me you still that little boy. You still that little fat fuck that didn't get no women. You're still the man that, had the Vaseline and, playing with yourself in the back of the room and in your geometry class. You're still that dude. You're still the dude that watched all the thugs, right? Because we grew up in an era, there wasn't really no thugs in high school. We grew up in an era where women primarily liked athletes. Like most of the dudes that I dated, they were athletes. They were the captain of the football team. They were the captain of the baseball team. They were athletes. Black men were athletes. They weren't thugs. So don't minimize black men to being thugs. And again, just because a person have a rough exterior or live a certain type of lifestyle, that don't make them a thug. Just because a man is a drug dealer don't mean he's a thug. Look at some of the movies out there of the men that are in the mafia and mob and things like that. Them niggas wasn't thugs. They was actually businessmen. That's the part that you fucked up about, because you are the men who the women overlook. So you're on the outside looking in. You don't even know what a thug is. You're on the outside looking in. You're trying to gain a perspective of why that woman likes that man. She likes that man because he has confidence. She likes that man because he has money. She likes that man because he has drive and ambition. She likes that man because he has charisma. You're under the impression that black women like thugs because that was your perception, because you were very fragile inside. So when I see men say black women like thugs, then I know that they had no confidence. Because most of the men that I dated, they was something that people used to call pretty boys. What happened to the era of pretty boys? I dated men that was finer than me. I dated the men with the green eyes and the curly hair. There was a whole Christopher Williams era. Y'all act like we just skipped right over that shit to Nino Brown. What are you talking about? What the era I grew up in was the New Edition. Like if you Negroes is in your late 30s, 40s, and 50s, the thug era didn't even start happening until the late 90s when NWA came in, and it took a while for that to even take place. So you more like talking about more like the 80s and further out a little bit. But thugs wasn't even in until like the 2000s. Okay, before that you was Pretty Ricky. It was a Pretty Ricky era. It was all about the wave and the Jerry curl and the what was the other curl called, ladies, where they put the S curl. So it was S curls, finger waves, Jerry curl. It was Pretty Ricky. You had Prince and Michael Jackson wearing high fucking heels and tight pants and glitter shirts. So I don't know where this thug fucking passion shit came from. That was way later. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that you just have insecurities, because no matter what era we was in, you was rejected by women. No matter what era we was in, you was not the pick and the cream of the crop. So if you are in your 40s talking about women like thugs, what women are you referring to exactly? Because we didn't even have thugs in my era. Not really. All the dudes that I knew, even the dudes that sold dope, was fine. They was fine. They was pushing 190 Benzes. They was pushing the old school Lexus. They was pushing the old school Beamers. They was pushing drops. They was pushing different kind of cars. Them dudes was fine. They was pretty. They was suited and booted in their troop suits. They, later on they started wearing FUBU and stuff like that. They was in their Adidas. They wasn't thugs. They was fly. Back in those days, it was about being a fly dude. Right? They do love thugs. So, and that's the thing. Your bros before hoes. Y'all niggas the one love niggas. You love niggas more than we do. You love them so much. Look how you treat Kevin Samuels. If that ain't indicative of how much you love men more than you love women. You love Kevin Samuels so much that you come to my page every day and argue me about a nigga that don't even know you exist. That's how much you love men. Because drug dealers back in the day wasn't shoot 'em up, bang, bang, walking around with grills. That was not the era. That was not the era. The era that we come from, black men was fly. They was smooth. They was pimps. They was clean. They was cool. They was like, what's popping, baby? Come get this, They had sex appeal. Those was the type of men we grew up around. I don't know where these thugs come from that y'all fucking talking about. That's your insecurity speaking. Women didn't like thugs. They like athletes. They like men that show promise, charisma, and money. So if you was game goofy is what we used to call you, or you was an L7, which is a square, you didn't have no money, you couldn't compete athletically, right? Then that's why you grew up and you're in your freaking 40s and 50s and late 30s talking about black women like thugs. No, they just didn't like you. They just didn't like you, my ninja. And ladies, let me tell you something. Again, they got us right on a couple of things. For instance, there is a 2 baby daddy maximum. I'm serious. And I'm not just saying it because I have 2 baby daddies. What I'm saying is that, okay, you get it wrong the first time, you try again. Maybe this relationship was a bit more fulfilling. You was older, you learned your lessons. But if you mess up the first time, the second time, don't do it again. Don't do 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, if I was smart, I would have only done it once. Okay? I would have only done it once and just had a single, one child. Again, I'm not knocking Kevin Samuels. I think he should get y'all for every dime he got. Every dime. Ladies, and, Darnell, again, you are on this page every day bitching and complaining. And here's the problem with that. If you are on my page every day with the same problem, then the common denominator is you, my ninja. The common denominator is you. How the fuck at 40 years old you ain't figured out how to have these unpleasant situations no longer be a part of your life? How at your age you even still need a Kevin Samuels to tell you what a woman is or isn't? How the fuck do you need another man to tell you what manhood should look like? How do you need another man to tell you what a woman should be to you? I think that shit is odd as fuck. I don't even need that type of advisement. I don't even need that type of advisement at this stage of my life. When the fuck do you get to a point where you as a man understand exactly what manhood is, and when you as a man start to attract the type of women who have the qualities that you actually want and need in life? And if you're in your 40s and you're still looking to another man who, again, has shown you no example of him actually being in a relationship that you say you want, he's selling you what we used to call pipe dreams. Right? He's selling you pipe dreams. He's not even the ideal of the thing that he tells you that you should be or have. He's not. Oh Lord. He getting off what you're saying. He's getting off of me saying his name. I'm sure. Of course he's getting off of me saying his name. What woman that looked like me ever even said his name? What woman that looked like me ever even acknowledged his existence? I might be helping him out. I might be making him feel better about himself so he can stop bitching and complaining on Al Gore's internet every day. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say, ladies. But it's your fault. You following Kevin Samuels. You following him. You making him, Kevin Samuels was right. At first, when I was listening to him, I thought he was wrong, but I realized he was right. What you really realize is what he's pointing out, and he's identifying his insecurities in you, sis. He's pointing out insecurities in you. He's pointing out the fact that you need to lose weight. He's pointing out the fact that being single, you know why black men always say, that's why you're single, even though they don't have nobody and haven't had no coochie in about 37 years. The reason why a man who's single and hairline sliding off the back of his head, taking Viagra just to try to keep up with 30-something-year-old women, the reason why he can get on Al Gore's internet and talk about you being single, even though he ain't had a woman since one had him, is because you walk around here and act like the idea of a man is the most important thing in the world to you. That's why. Because you women, you do have more than 2 baby daddies. And you are still giving men who are bullshit the time of day, secretly and quietly inviting them over to your house in the middle of the night when you need the good jug because you're lonely. So the reason why Kevin Samuels exists is because we're not being honest either on the internet. We get on the internet and y'all be all in my comments. Yeah, tell him, Nico. Yeah, that's why yeah, sis. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Then you get right off this motherfucking line and you pick up the phone for a bum ass dude because he's paying you attention. I see women in the gym all the time. I be like, get the fuck out of my face, sir. I have literally had to say those words verbatim to men in the gym. Y'all the ones in these beard game groups talking about, you want men to show you they dick print on they fucking sweats or whatever. That's you doing that. You out there putting yourself out there. You out there wearing outfits in public, a G-string to a party with the fishnet legs. You know what I mean? Not wearing the appropriate bras and got your titties all laying flat on your chest with a low-cut shirt on. That's you out there doing that. I seen a woman give her daughter a cake that was made out of a penis that had ejaculated, and that was her gift to her daughter. In what world, sis? And don't act highly offended because you the same ones that follow these ratchet ass, ridiculous ass women on the internet. You follow them all, where they spread they butt cheeks with y'all follow them. You comment on their stuff. Yes, sis. The Lizzos of the world who don't have no type of dignity. Yeah, I'm fat. Yeah, I show my coochie and my booty to everybody. Like, we the ones cheering for them. We the ones like, sis, you got it. You got it. I be looking at some of these pictures like, is they seeing some shit that I'm not seeing? Are they looking at something differently than what I can see? So we are perpetuating the same shit that we complain about men perpetuate. Everybody's unfortunately not being honest and not being real. I half as believe the shit that people say to me. If they like, yeah, I'll be like, are you really agreeing with me? Because I be seeing some shit that I see other women do that I think is completely unreasonable and retarded as fuck. And y'all be literally cheering these women on. Y'all be like, the Lizzo should not even be. Lizzo should be really banned from black women. She has no type of dignity. I'm not even talking about her size. It's a bunch of beautiful, curvy black women. I'm not even talking about her size. She could be, 800 pounds for all I fucking care. She has some self-respect and dignity. She don't give a fuck. And I know for a fact that women like her are actually really, really insecure. Because if she's doing all this for the likes, for the cheers, for the people to give her the confidence, for people to cheer her on. Like, it's so many things that we as black women can do. And I'm all for the sexy. Y'all know, Nico, listen. I'm all for the sexy. But I don't think that sexy and disrespect go fucking hand in hand. I don't think that sexy and being undignified as a fucking woman go hand in hand. I don't understand how we all of a sudden have correlated the two. Being sexy and being stupid as fuck. Like, are we not? Is being stupid not a thing no more? If being disrespectful to yourself, like, if my sons, I have boys. And it's just certain things that I might think is fun or I might think is cool. But the idea that my son's friends, not even my own kids, but that my son's friends might see me, you think I'm going to be sit there spread ego on the internet somewhere for my son's friends, them little busted ass, little dusty mites can, like, I just think that that black women really got to get their shit together. I think that we also carry extreme insecurities that we're not being honest about. There are the Darnells of the world, the overweight dudes with the breasts who just, they real insecure. They still carrying along their 19-year-old selves. They still carrying on. A man can grow up and be fine, but he's still going to live in that 19-year-old mindset. He's stuck. His arrested development. He cannot grow beyond that point. Black women should be able to be sexy. You know what I mean? And black women should be able to be sexy without disrespecting themselves. I don't see where the correlation in that is. I don't see why black women have to be disrespected in order to be sexy. I don't see why black women have to show their nipples and their coochie camel's toe in order to be sexy. I just don't get that that's a thing. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that that's the only sexiness that we had. We grew up in the era, most of us ladies, we grew up in the area with the Diana Rosses. We grew up in the area with the Eartha Kitts. We grew up in the era, where black women being sexy was all about how we felt about ourselves. You know what I mean? We didn't need big, grotesque asses in order to be sexy. You know what I mean? Like, I literally had a breast reduction a little over 10 years ago because I wanted smaller breasts because of the amount of attention I got for when they were bigger than this. I actually went and got them reduced. We're showing more and getting less respect. This is true. Now, again, I wear tight clothes, y'all. I wear tight clothes. I wear splits. I wear low cut shirts. I wear my back out, even though I got to work on that. I got to back that. But I just need for women to understand that we also have a responsibility. You can't come on here and Kevin Samuels me to death and tell me that he wrong, and then you walk outside and you a 40-something-year-old woman and you got daughters and you walk around with everything showing under the sun, that a man who used to only be able to see you in your lingerie inside the house get to see you outside the house. Darnell, you just insecure. I don't care what you are. You could be 37 pounds. You are a very insecure man. And everybody seems to be able to see it but you. And that's unfortunate. You should get therapy. And I'm not being sarcastic neither. I just think that you're extremely, extremely injured. Like, we've all been hurt. Like, I have had to work through things myself. I stayed single for 5 years. I didn't have sex or anything for 5 years. Only so I can develop myself, so I can speak with confidence about things, so that I could be with a man without feeling like I needed his validation more than I needed him to just meet me where I was at as a woman. You get what I'm saying? Ronnie said, grow up, bro. You're still not getting the point. He's not, Ronnie. He's not getting it. Because his insecurities is real, real, real thick. You know what I mean? They real thick, because again, if a man comes on my internet every day and he only talks about women, and he doesn't, like me, I address men and women. I primarily address men because I am a woman, right? I am a woman. However, if a man comes on my internet and he has nothing to say about men and the correction in their behavior, knowing that black men are the most antagonist individuals when it comes, black men kill more black men kill more white men, black men kill more white women than any other race. Yes, white people kill white people. Yes, there's white on white crime. But it's the numbers statistically. How many more black women are killed compared to white women in the same category? How many more black women are abused compared to white women in the same category? It is the numbers. In the black community, our numbers are excessively high for abuse and a murder at the hands of black men. Black men kill another black man. Yes, white men kill other white men. But it is the numbers of black men who kill other black men. Because you know for a fact there's certain places in LA and in Chicago that you won't even go as a black man because, not because you're afraid of the police, neither. Because you're afraid of what another black man might do to you. He might rob you. He might kill you. He may attack you. He may do something to you that you're not comfortable with. Let's just be real. So when you come on my internet channel and you have no accountability, that is you dealing in a very toxic, right? A very toxic mindset. If all of your problems are from women, then you either don't want a woman, you like men, or you too damaged to even be considering a relationship at all. You can't have that many issues with a woman and want one at the same time. That's a contradiction. That's an oxymoron. You can't hate women and love them. It's just not possible. If you really feel that way about women day in and day out, you shouldn't be with one because you're a danger to her and yourself. Me, on the other hand, the men on the internet, I don't see you in real life. Maybe you hide yourself from me, I don't know. But I don't see you in real life. I don't have these conversations outside of Facebook Lives. The conversations that I have with men are very promising. I am surrounded by black men who have their shit together. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, good, amazing feeling. But ladies, again, Kevin Samuel's doing you a favor by exposing these dudes. Now, if you're going to sit your ass around here and keep on sneaking Pootie Tane over to your house in the middle of the night, talking about, oh, his D just so good. His D not really all that great, sis. Trust me. When you get rid of him, you won't even miss it. Because when you start valuing yourself and your body more than you value attention or time from a man, you're going to feel differently about that. And you're going to understand that the reason why you feel good about that man being in your presence is that's the only time that he's even in your presence. He not taking you on trips. He not stepping in and handling no business for you. All he doing is handling business in you. So if he not handling business for you, why is he handling business in you? And pretty soon, eventually, you're going to start being disgusted by your own behavior. And if you're not going to start being disgusted by your own behavior, then don't come on my internet talking about Kevin Samuels and no damn body else, because it's you at the end of the day. It's you and your poor decision making, and I know because I was that person at a point in time. And that's how I ended up in the most tragic situation trying to save a black man, and I really should have been saving my goddamn self. So until black women start to really get it together and stop lying to their fucking selves about their weight, and I ain't talking about your weight because black men think so. I'm talking about your weight because you overweight. I'm talking about your weight because when I travel and I go to the airport, I'm tired of seeing your stomach sitting on your lap. And you wearing a half shirt like nobody noticed but you. That's not self-respect nor dignity. Right? That's not self-respect nor dignity. Y'all ignored Darnell. He just want attention from women. I told y'all he didn't have them. I'm not going to talk to him anymore. I said my piece. So I just need for black women to start being honest with themselves. I need you to start being honest with yourselves, because you're not being honest with yourselves. You're big-upping women like Lizzo. Who the fuck is Lizzo? I find her to be extremely offensive and disgusting. I don't think that exposing the crack of your ass and your coochie line, I'm big and I'm beautiful, I don't think that that's a representation of black women. I think that the representation of black women is being sexy with our clothes on or off. I think that the representation of black women is being who we are and standing in our confidence, whether somebody is acknowledging that or giving us permission to be who we are or not. I think Kevin Samuels has done a good job of making black women aware of how they are being perceived and making them confident enough to move how the fuck they want to move without nobody's permission. Everybody, just because you can doesn't mean you should, is my point. Cedric says self-integrity and accountability. Exactly. Exactly. I don't think it is showing self. I'm not sure what that means, babe. I didn't see your first comment. But I think that black women need some straightening. I think we need some straightening. And I think Kevin Samuels is good because I think that he has exposed us. I think that, you know, like I went to a conference and we were in a session where they were speaking. Guess who was on speakerphone on fucking FaceTime? Several black women. In the middle of a fucking conference where everybody is trying to pay attention to what's going on. Because that whole, don't talk to me, don't tell me nothing ass attitudes is stink and it's stupid and it's ridiculous. And it's just not on a level. It's just not on a level. And I just want black women to start getting their shit together so that you don't give fuel to Kevin Samuels. When you act like that, you make these men right. Like for real. You make it seem like they know what they actually talking about. You really do. You really do. Now let me get my ass in this gym. Y'all already been holding me up for like an hour. Let's see. Sheila said, also, how many times have you been at a business event and our women don't know how to dress for the event? Yeah, you know what? Not I don't know. I haven't really seen that. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't really seen that. Right? I haven't really seen that a lot, especially lately. I'm telling you, after Monique said what she said, I only seen like 2 women at the airport, right? I only seen like 2 women at the airport that didn't have their shit together. But other than that, most of the women that I saw at the airport had their shit together. Right? So I just want everybody to start being honest. I want black women to start being honest. I want us to start being honest. We got some shit we need to fix too. Like, why are you in club wear at a business event, naked at a baby shower? Right, Sheila. Okay, I see what you're saying. Again, I haven't really seen that, but I know what you're talking about, and I know that it exists. I know, like, I seen a woman the other day in like some kind of leotard with the whole booty and everything out at an event where everybody was supposed to be. Let me tell you right now, I'm having an event October 2nd. Again, if you bought any products from me, you are invited. But if you try to show up to my shit looking like you got your shit off of Instagram, you won't be let in. Let's see. Terry said 3 baby daddies later, plus an ex-fiance who became a baby daddy number 4, plus literally learning to love yourself is absolutely right. The more love and respect I grow for self made me realize how disgusting it is. Not shameful though, but yeah, he'll definitely make you check yourself. There you go, Terry. There you go. But again, you don't need Kevin Samuels to check yourself. You don't need a man who doesn't even have the relationship that he's telling you to go get. Check yourself. What I'm saying about Kevin Samuels being good for the culture is that he's so hard on black women, and he has these black men who aren't even qualified. Who the fuck you gonna fix yourself for? If these men are Darnell, you gonna go fix yourself for some shit like that? You gonna go fix yourself to be somebody's fucking therapist in a relationship? Who are you gonna go fix yourself for? So if you're gonna go fix yourself, let it not be because you want a relationship with a Darnell. Let it be because you want a relationship with your fucking self. Let it be because you want to start moving through this life feeling happy and secure with or without someone. Get so confident in being who you are that when a man say, that's why you single, you can be like, exactly, thank you. I'm glad you know this, motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Let that comment that's why you single become your anthem. I'm not saying that black women should be single. What